We were so smooth through the quarter-final, and relatively unscathed through the second round. So we knew that at some point we were going to concede and we would have to respond. Denmark have had an incredible tournament. I mean, I've got to give them huge credit. I thought they made it really difficult for us tonight. They pressed us so well, scored a fabulous goal. The boys are a super player. And but I think on the balance of play, when you look at the number of saves we forced the goalkeeper to make and long periods of the game where I felt we were the biggest threat, I think we deserved it. And for our country, I mean, I've not heard this new Wembley like that ever, and to be able to share that with everybody and share it with everybody at home is very special.
Thanks, Simon. Sammy Mockbell, Daily Mail.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Sammy.
It must have been pretty torturous for you that whole 120 minutes. Can you talk a bit about the emotional roller coaster that you personally went through?
Well, I felt calm in the lead up to the game because I felt that the players, with what they've been through over the last few years, were ready. And you're never 100% sure how they'll react in those difficult moments, but we have talked about it and they stayed calm. I didn't think we kept the ball well enough through Denmark's pressure from their front three, and we're going to have to do that better on Sunday because Italy are very good at it. So we need to find better solutions with that. But we found a way to win, and we found a way to find the spaces further forward. Once we'd got into their half, we were a threat all night. All of our wide players, Raheem, Bukayo, Jack, Phil when he came on, Mason, those players that got in between the lines or were in those one-against-one situations wide, they were a real handful. And we managed to create good openings. I thought the goalkeeper for them had a fantastic game. He's a top goalkeeper. But we found a way to win. The second half of extra time, I think it took us a while to realise actually just to keep the ball was the easiest way to finish the game off. It took us 5 minutes to work that out, and then we got clued into it. So we invited more pressure in that initial period than we needed to. No, huge credit. These players have been immense from the first day we met up at Middlesbrough. The whole group, the boys that didn't make the final cut, the group that have been here together, all of the staff, they deserve what's been a really special night. Alex Howell, BBC Sport.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Just wanted to touch on the end of the game, on the team keeping the ball. How proud of you of how they dealt with the end of the game, and how were you trying to get your message onto them to keep it better when it got to that point?
Well, understandably, given how long we've all waited for a moment like this, when you're ahead, there's a tendency to sit. We changed the shape because we know that Denmark in those moments have thrown 4 players into the box, and we needed to keep pressure on high up the pitch, but to be able to have the numbers to defend those balls into the box. But it took the players a while to really recognise they were then a man down, and there were opportunities to keep the ball better than we were. So, but look, it's human nature. You're in a moment that none of us have been that close before, and totally understand why it took the players a little while. But when they did lock onto that, then they kept the ball really well through that period and managed the game really well.
Thanks, Alex. Dan Kilpatrick, Standard. Dan, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I just want to ask you about Italy. Do you feel that's going to be the biggest test for your players so far, and particularly in terms of the experience they have at centre half in Bonucci and Chiellini? How kind of canny do your forwards have to be to get the better of those two?
Well, the whole team, you've only got to see. I mean, I think Denmark have only lost 4 matches out of 30 odd. Italy's record is even better than that. They've been a top team for the last couple of years. We've followed their progress closely. We know the way they play. They play with great energy. They play with great style. They're, as always, difficult to score goals against. So, that without doubt, they deserve to be in the final. They've beaten 2 top teams to get there in Belgium and Spain. So it's the biggest possible test we could have with a day less to recover. But we've got to prepare from now, and of course it's wonderful to have that opportunity to take them on.
Thanks, Dan. Simon Evans, Reuters.
Hi, Gareth. Just on the first time the team have been behind in a game, and they seem to handle that obviously very well and reacted to it. But also just going towards the end of the 90, the sort of last 10 minutes of the game, there didn't seem to be an excessive panic about going into extra time. Was that something you were saying to the team, that you got a good bench, you got a lot of energy left to win it in 120 if need be?
Well, what we said to them before the game is that they've found ways to win matches over the last 3 or 4 years in whatever circumstances it's taken. So whether that's been leading from the front, whether that's been having to come from behind, whether that's taken extra time, penalties, they've found those solutions, and we wanted them to have the confidence in that. And so I felt we were very dominant in that period, the last half an hour of normal time. And of course, the extra time, I think we had a bit more legs, a bit more energy, and Denmark made a lot of changes early on in the game and weren't able to change later. So, but the strength of our bench has been an asset. There's no question about that, and the depth of the squad is why we are where we are, and the mentality of the squad is why we're in the position we're in.